Yes, Om Shanti. So, good morning, all of you, and welcome to the Avyakt Murli English Reading Club. So, today I've been asked to cover the Murli, which is of 23rd November 1979. A beautiful Murli, which is about how Babdada is looking at the Madhuban residents and inspiring them to do seva, service. And Baba is using this slogan, a very time tested slogan of ours, that is Tyag, Tapasya, and Seva. So, Tyag means renunciation, Tapasya means in English, there's a word they call penance, and Seva means service. So, how these three are linked, and Baba is really addressing Madhuban residents. So, I would, if I can ask all in the chat box. So, we are supposed to read this Murli over 2 days. So if you can suggest to me, I have directly downloaded from the website the English Murli, but that really is not so lengthy because it tweaks a bit on the Hindi Murli. Whereas I have another Hindi Murli which is directly Google translated, and we have more things to read on over 2 days. So is that okay if I can read the Google Translate? I just wanted to know that from you all. Well, can please mention in the here, Rakhi Behan Bolo.
So Manojpa, you can look at using both the Murlis and see what best that you can bring forward.
Okay, so I'll do it as I want to. Is it? Right.
Let's have the essence of the Murli being clear.
Essence is okay, fine. So we'll do that. And then we'll churn on that. Okay. So I'll do the half Murli from the English one direct, not the Google Translate. Okay. Thanks. So let's move on. I'll just share the screen. And here you can see the English Murli now. So Baba addresses Madhuban residents, and in this, actually, the title which I liked, which is not mentioned here, it is about how through the armor of humility. Baba is saying Kavach Pehno of humility and then do seva. Because it's very important that whilst doing seva, sometimes this seeps in. Oh, I did this seva. No, it's Baba is getting done through me, Karan Karavan Har Baba. So wearing this armor of humility, why humility is an armor? Armor is something which protects you. In the battlefield, when warriors go for fighting, they always wear armors. And Baba says, Yog ka kavach rakho, Gyan ki talwar, which means you wear the armor of yoga, remembrance, and fight with the sword of knowledge. So let's see the main essence what Baba is saying, that today there is this group of servants. Servants is not a good word in English. So many times it's translated as servers abroad. People use the word as servers. To be a resident of Madhuban is to be a servant. And Brahma Baba, who himself was a resident of Madhuban, is the main world servant. As we say that Brahma Baba is, Madhuban is Brahma Baba's Janam Bhumi, Karam Bhumi, and Charitra Bhumi. So this was the land where he was born, in the sense his name was transformed to Brahma Baba because Shiv Baba entered him. Then it is his Karam Bhumi where he's performed his actions, elevated actions. And also his Charitra Bhumi, the land of his character, where he portrayed his character as the complete human being, or the complete, because Brahma is the as we say in Murli's great great grandfather, but in the path of devotion, Brahma is known as the first Adi Purush, right? So, though he is so elevated in whatever titles I told you, but he is still the main world servant. And so too, Baba says the other residents of Madhuban are servants as well. Unlimited servants must possess this unlimited virtue. And you can see how in Baba, his glance means drishti, his vision was unlimited. His speech, his every word was unlimited, and only hearing and speaking that which was beyond any limits. Coming into contact or relationship with others, there were no limitations. Each thought, even, was for unlimited benefit. Hmm. It has been said by many senior sisters of the Yagya that Brahma Baba's thoughts were always so pure and elevated. They were filled with just service and service. I mean, he was really a timeless Sevadhari. We know that from Brahma Baba's stories, and we cover that a lot in the sacred month of 18th, of January, the Avyak month. In his sanskars, there was unlimited renunciation and tapasya. As I said, tapasya is translated as penance, but when we say penance, then our mind goes towards the devotion mark, what penance the yogis do. Yogis means, I mean to say, the rishis and uh, the bhakti mark, hat yogis, I must say, those ones. So, but therefore, in English, they directly write tapasya in the English murlis as well. He was the embodiment, the image of tapasya at every second. And again, unlimited tapasya, not the tapasya of 2 or 3 hours. From the face of the corporeal father, you always saw renunciation, tapasya, and service. To repeat, tyag, tapasya, and seva, because that's what Baba says. If we can understand in short, for some newbies, people don't understand that how these three subjects are related, Brahmins sometimes. So the first way to understand them is that Tyag, renunciation of what? Not of the outwardly things. It's basically Behad ki Vairag Vritti, which we say in English, the attitude of unlimited disinterest is very closely related to this, which means, again, in one of the Murlis, Baba has explained, Kis cheez ka tyag? Renunciation of what? Renunciation of the body consciousness. That's the first thing. And then comes the other renunciations follows that. And once I'm able to renounce body consciousness, then I can do tapasya more properly. So, renunciation of body consciousness followed by inculcation of yoga, tapasya, which is soul consciousness. So, Atma Abhimani banne ki tapasya, Deha Abhiman ka tyag. And once this happens, then service follows like that. Because then humility will remain a natural part of my service. I don't have to then think, oh, I have to not think I am a body, I have to think I am a soul, because the first two steps I've already covered. So you can call Brahma Baba the father of Madhuban. Are the other residents of Madhuban also following the father? Others sing the praise of Madhuban residents. So are you also the embodiment of all the virtues? And is there stability in this unlimited stage of consciousness, which means, is it Achal and Adol, or rather, I must say Ekras? Achal and Adol means unshakable and immovable. Stability is Ekras. Am I really in this Behad consciousness? Am I really Ekras? Is it always there or sometimes there? As you know, Baba likes the word always, Sada. Then Baba speaks about Aladdin's lamp, which is very famous because through this, all were able to see and obtain as much treasure as they desired. I'm sure you have heard a lot of these stories of Arabian Nights, where Aladdin had a chirag, a lamp, used to rub the lamp, and a jinn used to appear, and he used to say that uh, Baba says in the Sakar Murli stories that he used to say, if you don't give me work, I'll eat you. Now that you have invoked me, give me some work. So Baba says in the Sakar Murlis that with this Aladdin's chirag or lamp which you rub, a jinn, what is the meaning of the jinn? So what did Aladdin in the Bhakti Marg story? It is shown that he told the jinn he couldn't really figure out what to give him work. So he told him, that's the ladder, go up and down. And he kept doing that without any problem. He just wanted to do some work. So in Baba's context in Sakar Murli is to go up and down the ladder of remembrance. In the sense, go up and then also go on down on the ladder, see your Swadarshan Chakra, where you are now, where you were. So otherwise Maya will eat you. That's what Baba says in Sakar Murli. Here the context is that you will see wonders, and Khulja Simsim, that's the word in Hindi. So all the Arabian Nights stories where a lot of treasures Aladdin gets. So that's what Baba is saying, that you have to become like that. All you all Madhuban residents have to become like Aladdin's lamps, whereby you're able to see and obtain as much treasure as you desire. Madhuban residents are Aladdin's lamps. They say in Urdu, Awal Aladdin. Awal means the first, and Aladdin is a name. Actually, it's a beautiful name. Allah means today we are speaking on the eve of Ramzan Eid. I don't know whether the Chand came yesterday or today, I don't know that, but officially it's the holiday today. So Allah is God, is the Urdu name in God, and Deen means, you all know, Deen Dukhi means someone who's suffering. So Aladdin basically means the Lord who removes all the suffering. So that's a beautiful name. And Awal means the first one. So Madhuban residents are Aladdin's lamps, the ones who in a second reveal the home. That's the soul world and the kingdom, that's the golden age. Shantidham and Sukhdham. They are the ones who bestow Mukti and Jivan Mukti. So, how great your praise is, Madhuban residents. Does each one move in the consciousness of that greatness? Baba is asking. See, when a bomb explodes, the entire surroundings are transformed. So, similarly, now the residents of Madhuban should make such preparations for the explosion of such a powerful bomb. In Sakar Murli's Baba says atomic bomb and Paramatam bomb, right? He says the bomb of you souls and the Supreme Soul's bomb, by which he means you need to do such service that in a second people are transformed. As the Lokik bomb transforms everything, in 1 second it causes destruction. And our work is for construction. So this should be prepared, this bomb, whilst being here and underground in Madhuban. So go underground. All the discoveries of science happen through scientists whilst being underground. So the more subtle and refined something is, the more power is latent in it. The object is so tiny, yet the task is so immense. So though on a very casual level, Baba's the essence of Gyan is, or the essence of all our Murlis and Baba's teachings is, consider yourself to be a soul and remember the Supreme Soul. So it's a very tiny thing that way. But the task and the benefits, prapti, attainments is so immense with this if we can do. So develop some new means now, Baba selling Madhuban residents, by which the vibrations can spread throughout the world. Each one has the thought that it should be like that. Aisa karenge in Hindi, ge ge ki bhasha, Baba says. But what's the barrier that prevents that thought from becoming a practice? There are these waste thoughts that it will only be like that at the end. Means Baba आप चिंता मत करो हम संपूर्ण बन जाएंगे end में. Which means don't worry Baba. We try to give solace to Baba. It's other way around. Baba gives solace to us, but we also sometimes say, Baba, don't worry, we'll become like that, or we'll become complete and perfect at the end. Meanwhile, these things will continue because everyone still has a lot of weaknesses. That's what we say, Baba. That ये चीजें छोटी मोटी तो होती रहती हैं, which means Baba will become complete. Little bit weaknesses will remain. So Baba says that's the most important obstacle in your effort. These create a brick wall which prevents you from increasing the speed of your efforts in making your effort intense, Tivra Purusharth from Purusharth. So now with this one determined thought, you can high jump this wall which we have created on our own. What's the name of the wall? Gege. It should be like that. It should be like that. I should be like that. So let everyone now have the feeling that I must be like that, or I must be the one who will do this or who does this. So change the words from it should be like that to I will do it and show it to everyone. Don't look at others. Don't listen to others. So here comes those two par. Don't look at others means par darshan. Don't listen to others means par chintan. Par darshan Parchintan, and Parmat, which means don't follow the dictates of others. So, if each one individually had such powerful, determined thoughts, then coming together as a total gathering would be such an experience. And Baba says, Sangathan mein Shakti hai. So, you all, so not only it is the Madhuban residents, but even we become temporary residents of Madhuban. Ideally, we all are residents of Madhuban, but we are at different places for the purpose of seva. But Baba says that when you come to Madhuban and be in a total gathering, all of you all have to have this experience on a combined level, all of you all together. So I think I'll just take, yeah, we have a few more paras. I'll take this last para and then tomorrow we'll take the others. So Baba says Madhuban is the highest tower in the whole world. In the last few days, or yesterday or day before, Baba said that the Tower of Silence, not Shanti Stham at Madhuban, we are speaking about the Tower of Silence, Paramdham. So, same way, Madhuban is the highest tower in the whole world. It is visible from all around, from far and near. The vision of all is drawn towards it because it is so elevated. And this is the special unlimited service of Madhuban, whereby you have to follow Brahma Baba at every step. So we'll continue this tomorrow. Otherwise, we won't have anything tomorrow to discuss. So we'll read tomorrow that how Baba says you have to follow father, not brother and sister, and how to follow Brahma Baba at every step. Right. So we'll take a moment. I'll stop sharing the screen and then we'll start taking your sharings. Thanks. You all can start sharing.
Shanti. The point for me to take home is where Baba says to become unlimited Sevadhari. So though he's speaking to Madhuban Nivasi, the message uh, that touched me today was everywhere, whether it's going to be my speech, my words, my connections, my relations, and any kind of service that I'm doing, standing in the space of being an instrument and standing in the space of being unlimited there, not thinking कि इतना ही कर सकती हूँ या उतना ही कर सकती हूँ, completely being in the stage of unlimited server. That's the point for me to take home. Om Shanti. There's a message on chat box by Grija Ben where she says the key takeaways, the key word is unlimited, from limited consciousness to unlimited consciousness. What a humble title, God the World Servant.
Maybe if someone who's a double foreigner wants to throw some light more on this, do you like to know the word or like to hear the word servant when someone calls you? Because it's a big, not controversy, but it's not a very nice word which people prefer. As I said, they say server rather than servant. So you all can share your experience about how this word relates to y'all, how whether you like it or any other aspects related to this aspect of God being the world's servant.
Cheetna Ben, would you like to share some thoughts on that?
Shanti Banshi.
Om Shanti.
Yeah, so where are you from, Jeetna Ben? Which country?
India.
India. Okay, so you can share your thoughts. No worries.
Uh, I'm trying to conscious to. I'm trying to keep my mind in Atma. I have just joined, brother.
Okay, no problem. Wonderful. More important is to be in that. And if you're able to make that effort and sustain that effort, the first one, as we said today, tyag tapasya seva, that's the tyag. If you're
Mm.
able to really renounce this body consciousness, making an effort more and more in that direction, that's a good
Om
effort. So
Shanti.
don't worry. Thank you. Vijit bhai, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, Om Shanti. So, Tyag, Tapasya, I like that. I mean, so we all look at Brahma Baba as an example because he's the one who showed us the path and how we have to walk upon, right? And he demonstrated everything in a practical way. He did not just say it, but he made it in show, right? And we just have to walk on that path. So the renunciation, and after renunciation, it is tapasya. So the renunciation that I understand that we have to do is from the world and the worldly matters and the relations and anything that we that we deal with in this worldly matters, right? So in the couple of days, Baba was saying in the Zakat Murli that the more we interact with the impure souls in this world, right? So that also will accumulate in the account of sin, right? So we should eliminate that as much as possible, or mm, um, and create some good karmic accounts. So here, the more we renounce or withdraw ourselves from this physical, this materialistic world and the comfort and everything that we see around, that much we will be able to intensify our tapasya. That is what my understanding is. That much we will be able to become introverted and we will be able to give time for Baba and we will experience Baba and then service automatically takes place. We don't need to do anything for anything extra for service. When we become a complete renunciate, then we automatically become a tabassi. And then when we become a tabassi, then service automatically happens. That is what Brahma Baba shown us. That is what I have understood from Shanti.
Yes, so to add to that very apt point you have got out, so I thought we can churn on this a bit further. That Brahma Baba, so many of us haven't seen, but many of us have seen the dadis, all the seniors in the organization. So Baba used to say that though you all are wearing this white dress, absolutely there's no makeup and no no much effort on the physical looks of the body, though you're renouncing all this. So let me just draw the attention of all of you here to those Murlis of 1984 April, if I'm not mistaken, whereby Baba has spoken a lot about Tyag, Tyag. There's so many levels of Tyag. If you start first at the level of first Tyag or renunciation is of the body, the consciousness of the body, I being the body. Second is the bodily relations. Third is all the things related to the body. So, deha sahit, deha ke sambandh and deha ke padarth. Then further level comes is many levels Baba has said. He's one each murli. There are almost 4 or 5 murlis, and the last is tyag ka bhi tyag, which is the renounce. I have renounced this. Even that thought is a very damaging thought because it says I have renounced. So Baba says even tyag ka bhi tyag, renounce this thought that I have renounced something. And once you do this, then आपके त्याग में से भाग्य दिखेगा, which means then your fortune will be revealed through your stage. Therefore, all the dadis, you look at them, they look so simple, wearing white, but they look at their faces. It doesn't look like they've really done so much of tyag. They're all the time happy, contented, full of energy, and that in turn basically is helping you in your tapasya, and then automatically you become a sevadhari. And sometimes nowadays, I must say that at that point of time when dadis were there, it reminds me that many seniors in the organization, senior didis now share that at the time of dadis, there was no such thing as being in silence, by which I mean people nowadays, it's a good trend. They say I am in silence, they wear the badge of silence. And then if you go in, I'm not trying to taunt anyone when I'm saying this, I'm just taking an example, so please take it in that perspective. Don't take it personally if someone is practicing that silence, that form of silence. So the youngsters or anyone for that matter, they say one full day I'm in silence, they wear the badge, and if there's people, someone comes and approaches them, they get taken aback, and if by mistake they haven't put that symbol of I being in silence, so they won't speak to you. And the thing is, like for example at the center, if this happens that one sister is in silence, the other isn't, and she's doing work, and she has some important work with this sister which has to happen that point of time in the day, it can't happen, it can't wait, it has to happen either now or never. And that sister says, no, don't come and approach me because I'm in silence, that's a bit too much, that's not tapasya, I must say. So dadis used to always point out this. Later Asha Didi told us that I don't know, someone's voice is coming, maybe someone can just mute. Okay, I'll just mute you all. Yeah, thanks Sanjay bhai, thank you, sorry. So we can take your sharing after I finish this, Sanjay bhai. So Asha Didi always shares this, that uh, whenever, fine, if you are practicing silence, but make sure that you're flexible in your approach. Don't be so rigid that if some work has to happen whereby it needs you to speak, you have to speak at that time, whether it is your silence day or what, doesn't matter. So I wanted to say that my tapasya should be very natural, and it comes as a natural aspect. Dadis never practiced this, I'm in one full day silence. No, they were otherwise in silence, but when you want to speak, you have to come up with that. So similarly here, if I am able to have this renunciation, as Sister Jitna mentioned, of body consciousness, I'm trying to do, she says that automatically your yoga of being soul consciousness improves, and that naturally becomes a service. My life automatically becomes a service. Then I don't need to think that I have to serve this, I have to do this and that. Okay, Sanjay bhai, go ahead. Thank you.
Om Shanti. Very, as all Murlis are very perfect and very nice Murli. I really liked it when it is talked about Madhuvan Nivasis and all that. When the word Madhuvan comes, two things come in the picture. The scene of Madhuvan and the journey of reaching Madhuvan. The Madhuvan itself tells that Madhu banna hai. Madhu ban, the process of making sweet, becoming sweet. That means if anybody says Madhuban jana hai, that means I have to reach a place which is called Madhuban, which is a Mount Abu, or I have to become sweet as Baba wants me to be. And in that process, that tyag, tapasya is required. As the word tyag, which we think that we have to delete all the negativities, we have to reject all the unwanted things. As in the earlier Murli, it was discussed that a statue, all stone has got a statue, that unwanted things have to be removed. And when the unwanted things are removed, you become deity. That is tyag of all the unwanted things, of all the body consciousness. And when you remove all the unwanted things, you become light. And when you become light, then only you can do tapasya. And when you do tapasya, you become madhu, you become sweet. And when you become sweet, the seva happens automatically. And in the complete process of starting tyag, tapasya, and seva, the silence is very, very important. It was very nicely discussed by brother. But generally, silence is considered as abstract silence. That is, Baba never talks about that stool silence. The silence is something very divine silence. Silence is something spiritual silence. So the word silence itself, the first word S stands for soul conscious. And the next letter of I stands for introspection, and L for lawful and loveful, E for embodiment of knowledge, and for Nirakari, Nirvikari, Nirankari, and C for very, very careful, and E, you excel, you leave this world. The silence is so silence is not through silence, but starting from soul conscious and doing the Purusharth, and lastly, you eject from this world. You become very, very apart from this Sakari world. So the silence is a bit very deep in there. You can do mantra and you can just go very, very deep, and you can realize that silence is not the abstract silence. So what I really like that Madhuvan Nivas is silence and all that, so that if we can do Purusharth like that, definitely we can really become Madhu. That and when we become Madhu, we are Madhuvan Nivasis. Om Shanti.
Okay, so wonderful, Sanjay bhai. I just loved the concept which you said when you were saying that. I remember the cassettes, the audio cassettes in the older. Nowadays, we don't use them anymore, and we have the button of eject. Nowadays, we don't have these CDs also out of league. It's just pen drives now. All the music goes in pen drive. So in the pen drive also, I remember it's very nicely written. Safely eject hardware. Okay, you have to select that. The IT people would be knowing that. So beautiful word you said, that we have to eject ourselves, and safely we have to eject. In the sense, we have to leave this body, just like as we say in Hindi, makhan se baal, like from butter you just remove hair. As easily as that, you safely remove yourself from this body. And sorry, you wanted to say something, Sanjay bhai. Go ahead, you've unmuted again.
Actually, I have completed what I was telling. It's okay. Om Shanti.
Okay, thanks. So I'll just read from the chat box. Sister Girija is saying a servant is, so thank you for sharing your thoughts. A servant is someone who carries out the will of another. Yeah. The servant of Lord fulfills God's will and is often presented as someone chosen by God. But the question here she's asking is how God becomes the most obedient servant. I'll take that question. I'll finish your next sharing as well, what you have written. Renunciation is a step before surrender. Baba doesn't want us to renounce our home's relationships, which means, so that's written here, renunciation of relationships means you live in the same home, but through your mind and your intellect, you're not remembering your loved ones, your relationships, you're remembering only Baba. So that's the way you put it up. He wants us to renounce our attachment to these things identification with these things. And you've written in bold, let go of the things that take you away from you and from your destiny. Fine. So to answer your sorry, it just disappeared. My Yeah, I don't know why this happens. Just a moment. When I touch on the below control panel, I can't see what it was written. Just a moment. I hope this can go. The question was about, sorry, I can't just see the Zoom screen. Let
The
me just,
question was how God
Mhm.
becomes most obedient servant.
Okay, yeah, correct. Thank you for reminding. My screen has been frozen and hung up on that, so it will come soon. Yeah, so how is God or Baba, Shiv Baba, the most obedient servant? Well, there are a lot of things to it. Obedience means whatever the person is asking you do it instantly. So, like, if you can think it at a deeper level, all of us souls, whenever, at whatever time we want to remember Baba and we want him to come for us, he's always present. So that's what in one way is he's the most obedient servant. Whenever I want him for any task, he's all pervading there. He's like, if you look at the satellites which are there, and if you look at the sun, so recently we had the solar eclipse, all of you know that. So in the logic way, I'm trying to explain this to you all, that the sun, which is the most important star in the entire galaxy which we have, and we are all the satellites which are tuning to all sorts of different energies coming from the sun. So the sun is ever pervading. We see as sunrise and sunset, correct? But sun is really not rising and setting. It is just because the earth is, we initially used to feel that the sun is moving. No, but the earth is rotating on its orbit and also revolving around the sun. That's the reason we have day and night. But the sun is ever pervading, ever present, like the star, the biggest star of the galaxy. So similarly, Baba is the hot star. He's the major star of our spiritual world. He's always there. He never sets or rises. It's only we are in our own world, in our own mind and intellect. We sometimes remember him, we sometimes don't remember him. Maya comes, we remember our other people. And Baba says here that एक भुजाधारी को या दो भुजाधारी को याद मत करो. Remember me, the Sahasra Bhujadhari, which means Bhujadhari means we are the people who have two arms and two legs, right? So whenever in need, dire circumstances, we always try to remember so on, so on, and so on, falana, falana, for some help. But Baba says, why don't you remember me? I'm always there. So in that context, he's the most obedient servant. We are all the satellites. We are trying to connect to him. Sometimes the satellite loses signal, and you know what happens when you're speaking to someone on the mobile, suddenly your call drops off. So same thing, Baba says, now the child is at this moment having a good remembrance, pakka 100% connection with me. The very next instant, suddenly he loses signal with me, and it's not my fault. It's in the sense it's a child who's the souls are losing connection with me. So he's all pervading. He's all pervading. He's like the sun. And Baba says he's the Gyan Surya, the sun of knowledge. So in that context, he's all pervading, and that's the reason in the path of devotion he's thought to be Sarvavyapi, whereby he's omnipresent. So Baba is omnipresent in what way? Not anatomically or structurally. He's a little star at some place in Paramdham, silence world, but his energies, his powers, his virtues, everything is all pervading. And we just have to tune into that, like the satellite tunes to that. Like the example of a radio signal also going and coming. So that's it. I'm so sorry, my screen is still stuck. Probably maybe I have to log out and log in. Yeah, it's come now. Okay, and I will take the last chat. It's 5:38. So Sister Girija is saying that renounce vices with the power of tapasya. Yes, that's also one more renunciation. I should accept and embody that vision that I automatically become an instrument to serve. So thank you, sister, for your sharings. I think probably you are in silence, so you're sharing in the chat. That's perfectly fine. So if
Don't share.
all is Yeah,
I
go
want
ahead.
to add
Yeah.
one again. As you were talking about the servant and service, just I was hearing and doing that manthan. The servant is made of two words, serve and. You'll see the ant when they are doing their work, they are doing it continuously, gradually, and continuously. So when the word servant comes, it comes in my mind that we are to do seva continuously and rigorously. Gradually, we are doing it, and we are doing it and doing it and doing it. And service, when it comes, the word service comes. Sir and vices, that means our activity, our godly activity, what Baba is doing and what we have to do is to remove vices from the remove negativities, to remove vices, to remove the immoral things from us, what Baba does. So Baba, the godly servant, and Baba is doing the real service. And we also have to become godly servant like Baba, and services that is eradicating all the negativities, all the vices from us, and become the real servant. Om Shanti.
Yes, so that was
Manoj
wonderful.
Bhai,
Yeah.
just a second, if you have, please. The thing, this most obedient servant chills me, I tell you. Whenever I read that in the Murli, it really chills and something goes down my spine when Baba comes and says, I'm your most obedient servant. Why? This most obedient servant, I have often related it to the British Raj, when there they used to write to the so-called monarchs, the complimentary clause used to be the most obedient servant. So when Baba said that, I only take one positive view of it, that he considers us monarch and he becomes the servant. That's the only positive. But honestly speaking, this really, something goes down your spine when God himself comes and says that I am your most obedient servant. I just wanted to share that much. Om Shanti.
Okay, thank you. Wonderful. Thank you all for your sharings. And Sanjay Bhai, nice playing with words of service and servant. Great. So if all is good, it's 5:43 India time. So let's go into some meditation mode. Again, we'll try to churn on this and try to meditate on these three words, Tyak, Tapasya, and Seva. I'll give you a few thoughts and see what emerges. So let me just share the so let's sit back, relax. I'm trying to situate oneself in this consciousness of the tiny point of light that I am. I, the soul energy, is full of abundance, full of virtues and powers. And my tapasya is my When I become an embodiment of each one of these virtues and powers in action, when I'm able to express all these virtues and powers in action, and today on this auspicious occasion of Ramzan Eid, let me become that master Awal Alladin. I am also an Aladdin as Baba is. And he's given me this magic lamp. And what is this magic lamp for me? This magic Maha Mantra. The more and more I remember him, I tune my vibration to the supreme vibration. I connect myself to that powerhouse instantly. And then becoming an embodiment of each and every virtue and power becomes my true nature, my natural nature. And that's the true tapasya for each one of us. And that automatically translates into service, whereby I become a walking and talking serviceable soul. My face, my activity, my drishti through the eyes, all that become a source of service. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Manoj Bhai, for the beautiful session. And thank you, Divine Family. We shall meet again tomorrow at 5 a.m. Until then, I'll have a great day ahead.
Thank you, Om Shanti.